Yer, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Orlando, aka King Smitty. Welcome to my trading journey, where this first season we're just trying to take with my small account from zero to $10,000. But really, I started in the negatives, and if you want to know why, you can watch my first video where I kind of explain why I got started trading and everything. But go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button because I am trying to make my way to 100 subscribers. The like button definitely allows YouTube to get my video out to more people through the algorithm, and if you share my video, it allows it to get to more people as well. I appreciate all of you all. But today, we are going to talk about Tesla. Um, and for Tesla, first, I like the growth stocks. I really like them. I'm trying to get more than dividends, but I like the growth stocks. And Tesla is probably my biggest big dog in my portfolio. Right, so we're going to talk about Tesla. They just had their annual Cyber Roundup, I think it's called, the shareholder meeting. And let's look and see what kind of went down with Tesla Cyber meeting. So it says right here, and it says management's desire for a 3-for-1 stock split was approved by shareholders, and at that time that price would have been $308. Tesla, what is Tesla's current price right now? $864.51. So maybe we can divide that by 3, put that on the screen right there, let you know how much that is. But yeah, so at the time of this, it said it would have been $308. And then Elon Musk goes on to say that the company had recently just produced its 3 millionth vehicle. And he says also attempting to achieve a 2 million vehicle run rate by the end of the year. So they just created their 3 millionth vehicle, which is a milestone, of course. And then he says by the end of 2022, he's trying to achieve a 2 million vehicle run rate by the end of the year. That means each year he's trying to, by the end of the year, he wants to be able to make 2 million vehicles in a year, which is extraordinary for growth wise. Since they've been out for a few years already, and they're just not hitting that 3 million vehicle mark, and if by the end of the year they can be producing 2 million a year, that's a huge growth. Revenue will go up, of course, because of the sales of the new vehicles or whatnot. And then we continue to read this article, and Elon says, I'll be surprised if not over the next 100 million, if they're not over 100 million vehicles in the next 10 years. When he was asked what about the next 10 years, about the future of production, he says, I'll be surprised if I'm not over 100 million vehicles basically in 10 years, which is basically 10 million a year in a sense, which is, like I said, extraordinary growth, especially since the EV market is just now starting up, and then they have that big of a leg over their competition. That'll be crazy. Musk also stated that the ideal number of factories would be 12, meaning the company has a long way to go. There's only like 4 factories, especially gigafactories, I believe. Remaining factories is one in California, there's one in Austin, Texas, there's one in China, and there's one in Germany. And all of them aren't doing so well just yet. So he's trying to get 12 of them up. 12 would definitely help with those numbers, especially as they get more efficient. I believe the one in Germany only making Model Ys in the color black and white right now. And I think the one in Texas, I think they are making some Model Ys, but I think they're going to be focusing on the Cybertruck. I'm not completely sure about that. But I know there's issues in these ones because, one, there's having backups with the chips because of the chip shortage, which is happening in China, which their economy is kind of right now. And then they're kind of mad about the whole Nancy Pelosi going over to Taiwan. And, they still have their lockdowns with COVID. So there's a lot going on with China. So they're causing backups on Tesla's other factories. And then, like I said, with all that going on in China, that China factory, that Berlin factory, is in, not Berlin, but at Shanghai factory isn't functioning as well as it should be. And then they say in the one in in Germany, they're having to rework on cars that have already been like rolled off of the assembly line because their workers aren't sufficient. They're not doing the job to 100%. So there's still issues with production on these gigafactories, but if he can get 12 of them off the ground, that'll be wonderful. That'll be some big news for the company, and the growth rate will definitely skyrocket from where we're at. It then goes along right here. It says gigafactories in Fremont, that's California; Shanghai, that's China; Austin, Texas; Berlin, Germany. And you also have a battery and solar's operation in Nevada and Buffalo, New York. It goes on to say pricing, supply chain, and the economy. And Elon says that Tesla gets a bit of insight into where prices of things are going over time because when you're making millions of cars, you have to purchase commodities many months in advance of when they're needed. And from that vantage point, he believes the country is past its peak inflation. I guess since he's buying so many cars, so many parts months in advance, that the prices where it was months ago for the prices, I guess right now, are higher than the prices he's paying now for the months in the future. If that makes sense, if I got that with me. I hope I didn't mess that up for y'all. But so I guess he's saying due to that, since he's paying future prices, that he can see that prices in the future are already lower. But then he goes on to say that he believes that a relatively mild recession, is in order or is due. But then he also says that making predictions about the economy is usually a recipe for disaster. So I'm not trying to predict the economy necessarily. I do try to predict certain stocks. And, of course, none of this is financial advice, obviously, but I just do my best I can. And then, so I guess you ask some questions about the future, other than like the growth of the vehicle sales and the gigafactories. I believe this stock split is also supposed to be August 25th. I'm not 100% sure about that. Um, but he says we're going to do a really fun supercharger location in LA. And I think he also said that the superchargers for the Tesla, or the chargers for the Tesla, will also be able to work on other electric vehicles that are not just Tesla, which will also bring a little bit more revenue to the company. But then he goes on and says the general vision is something like a futuristic kind of diner, sort of. I don't know, like a Blade Runner meets Grease meets the Jetsons. So he's definitely trying to get a little futuristic with his charger station, trying to make it like a spot to be at. I don't know if you ever been to like a Buc-ee's, but how Buc-ee's is like a nice little gas station that is more than a gas station. Like you can go shopping there, and it's just like almost like a little mini tourist attraction. They advertise these Buc-ee's for like hundreds of miles away, 50 miles away, just so people can stop at it and stuff like that. Um, and then he goes on to say, I have like the big screens at the supercharger locations, and the screens will be aiming to show or air. What is it? Will be aiming to show like the greatest 100 movie clips of all times. So you can have a cheeseburger and charge your car and watch some cool stuff on the screen. So he's really just trying to take this into the future, make it like a tourist attraction almost. So people will want to come here, even if you don't have a smart car or like a electric vehicle car like that. You can still come and enjoy the food and see stuff on the TV. But then when you charge in your car, you can also get food and make like a little pit stop in a sense and make it a little fun for everybody. So I think he said he's gonna try that where in California was gonna be his in LA was gonna be his first route. And if that goes well, I could definitely see him trying to pop these up in a lot of other major cities. Um, so we'd like to see that in the growth. And let's look at this chart because, like I said, I am definitely going for a growth in this time in this market. I see when the market did kind of do a reverse recently, that my growth stocks were growing at an alarming rate. It was so great. I loved it. So I've been loading up heavier in my growth stocks. And then Okay, and if we look right here, this is the Tesla's chart. This is the 1 week chart. You can see we were in an uptrend, and then starting, what is this, November 1st, 2021, the decline started, right? And honestly, this looks like a flag chart pattern, and a flag chart pattern can be used as the continuation pattern. So once this breaks out of this top resistance line right here, this stock could really fly. It really could. Let's do this. We're gonna draw some horizontal lines. Just gonna get a little bit deeper into Tesla's chart. So you see right here, boom, that is the all-time high right there. Tesla has yet to break $1,243.78, right? And we're gonna put for sure right here as a support line, and we're also gonna put right here as a support line, because you can see it got over right here. What is this, on November 23rd, 2020? It kind of tested it March 1st, 2021, March 8th, 2021. It was on it on May 17th, so it's been tested multiple times, making it a stronger support line for us. And you can see over here, into the recent time, it's been in a downtrend in this little flat pattern. You can see it touched resistance once, twice, 3 times, roughly 4 times. And then it touched the support, it was right there, 1, 2, 3, about 4 times as well. So strong support and resistance on this downtrend as well. So let's get a little bit deeper into this. Let's make it a 6-month chart. No, let's do a 1-year chart. So yes, now you're deeper into it. Now you can still see a little bit this support line down here, and then you can see the resistance up there. But you can see when you're getting into it, there's still a lot of price actions in between this flag before you get down to the actual resistance. But you can see it came up here to this, to the support, but you can see it came up to this resistance. It didn't touch it this time, but it did turn around beforehand. You can see it was overbought, so that would make sense. Once it's overbought, it comes back down, hopefully to neutral, then maybe run back up. But let's do some more lines on here. What am I on? Let's get even smaller. So you can see I'm gonna draw the trend line, because this was the bottom in this little trend right here, and it was going. Boom. We're just gonna stop it right here, right? And then but then the trend started to accelerate, so it was no longer touching this line. So then I created another line right here with this bottom. Boom. No, I didn't. I created one, I believe, with this bottom, and you can see if we zoom in on here, I'm sorry, y'all. Trying to get this chart going. You can see right here, kind of touched right there. It went up. It opened below it, closed above it. You see it's flirting with this line. It's flirting with this line. And then it finally leaves that line. right? So once this comes down, I'm hoping it comes down to roughly around 833. It's kind of like a medium support line. It's not like the strongest. It hasn't been there for months, but it's been there for weeks. So it's like a weekly support line. So if it can bounce off of this and then get above as well that 950 line, then this stock could definitely run up to like at least 1100 before meeting some real resistance. Cause yeah, I say about this price is real close to 1,000. Of course, 1,000 can be considered like a natural unspoken resistance line. A lot of even numbers like that. But if it breaks through this, it could definitely come up to right here. This is another horizontal ray we're gonna do. Boom. We're gonna do it like this. Let's just remove that one. I did the wrong thing. Horizontal line. Boom. So yeah, if it breaks above this resistance line right here, it could definitely go to 1148 to test that resistance. And if it breaks above that, then we could test all-time highs. But if it breaks below the weekly support line, then it could definitely go down to the previous trend line, which it started, the previous resistance line that it had before the chart started to accelerate. And if it breaks below that, then we're gonna back up, and then you'll have right around this 500 area if it breaks below those first two support lines. So yeah, I definitely see this chart on the short term. It's either gonna go to, I believe it's gonna go up. Honestly, I believe we have the potential to go up, but I'm kind of hoping it goes down just so I can buy a lot more of these growth stocks. I do have a lot of growth stocks with a lot of limit orders waiting. Biogenomics, taking some of BNGO, SoFi, Neo, ChargePoint, Planet 13. I have so many limit orders, some low limit orders too. So I don't know. If the market runs, I'm definitely gonna take my profits while it's up. Wait for it to come back down and pick me up at a lower price. Cause that's the object of the game is to buy low, sell high. So thank you all for rocking with me. Definitely like and subscribe to the page. And I appreciate y'all.